What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to talk about if Lord Shimura is going to be in the Iki Island expansion for Ghost of Tsushima. So I thought this would be kind of a fun thing to do with obviously the game releasing in, I believe, 19 days from when this video goes up. It's very, very exciting. I cannot wait to jump back into the game. And I saw this kind of early on when this expansion was released, and so I'm trying to use this video almost as an education kind of perspective because I feel like the answer is kind of right there in front of us. So this is going to touch upon spoilers for the base game. So if you do not want to know that, play it, watch it, wait for the director's cut, and then come back for this video, I guess. But, this expansion actually takes place after Act 1, right before Act 2 of the game. So that's when you're going to be able to basically unlock this expansion in the base game. Now, after Act 1, the last mission or the last thing you do in Act 1 is freeing Lord Shimura, and then Act 2 obviously picks up right after that. Now, somebody like me, somebody like possibly you, could very well be playing this game after the fact, after you beat the entire game. Now, I would say it depends on how they want to play it, but based off of how clear they've been in terms of the placement when this expansion takes place versus the rest of Ghost of Tsushima, I do think it's important because they want to make it known the placement, right? Where characters can pop in and pop out of this expansion because they're still around. So again, spoilers for the end of the game. Obviously, the choice is whether you kill him or whether you spare him. Now, ultimately, it doesn't actually influence all that much. Honestly, it would have been more, I think, just something that's like interesting to keep your eye on if the expansion was after the game. Now, going into Ghost of Tsushima 2, that's a separate thing, right? The fact of him living versus the fact of him dying, that's going to make a rather huge impact, and I wonder if Sucker Punch just kind of does the cop-out in not a negative way. It's not a negative thing, I don't think, because it is difficult. Do they just choose which one to go with? So in Ghost of Tsushima 2, they say, okay, he's dead. You killed him, and that's the ending that we're going for moving forward. So I think it would have given us a little bit more insight into what they're thinking if this expansion was after the game. But I think the fact that because you can unlock it in in between 1 and 2, basically, I think it is going to basically stand on its own. And when I say that, I mean literally not impact the rest of the story of the game. And again, that's not the most crazy thing of all time. That pretty much happens in any big open world game that then has some sort of massive DLC. You have to be careful with it. You have to make it so that it doesn't almost infringe upon what people maybe never played before or what people have played before. For Horizon, the Frozen Wilds, I actually played that all in one go. And now I did the Frozen Wilds after the base game, kind of, which is almost like the people that played the game day one, but I could have done it almost out of order, right? Witcher 3, you could do that while you're doing it, or you could do it after the fact. So you have to play a pretty tight game with it. So I would say, well, look, one of the also things that they talk about with Jin and what he's going to be experiencing is sounds a lot like flashbacks, kind of like reliving past family trauma. Now, could that mean his parents? I think it probably does mean his dad in some way, but I would not be surprised if his uncle, right, Lord Shimura, was also there. So I would say, is he going to be in it? I would say yes. And what I would say is I almost wonder if he's only in it through flashbacks. Now, like in the trailer, we see some familiar faces, but we do not see him. And, that doesn't necessarily mean anything. He could very well appear anyway, maybe at the very end or maybe at the very beginning. But I will make, I guess, the bold prediction that he is in it, but he's not going to be in it physically. Now, again, they could put him in physically and it wouldn't upset the balance of anything, although, yet again, I don't actually understand. Well, it is a little tricky, though, because if I beat the game, now I'm actually in my game, I did kill him. So I beat the game, I killed him. I can just go straight to this Iki Island because I beat the game. So I'm past the threshold of entering it. So he's dead, and I'm going to go, and then he's going to be in it in person. So, like, while the timing of being between Act 1 and 2 makes sense if he wants to be in it physically, does it do you almost have to suspend your belief in the game if you beat the full game and then you go to Iki Island? It's like, okay, in my head, I need to remember I'm basically going back in time. This chapter of this entire tale is before where I'm at right now. I don't know if they would want to mess with that. And so again, maybe the safest option, well, the safest option is probably not have him be in it at all. Not having, not one time, maybe mentioned, maybe, because then again, even there, you're kind of in hot water depending on what you say. But I think that's the easiest option, is just not having him in it, period. Second option would be having him in it in flashbacks. And flashbacks are, by the way, not something that they've never done before. There's flashbacks kind of throughout Ghost of Tsushima, harkening to when Jin was younger, and basically, mostly his relationship with his uncle, right? So I think it's possible. I would even go so far to say I think it's likely. I don't think they're going to have any major problems now in terms of picking, what, I guess, assuming what players have done, right? They're not going to run into that now, but they will run into that, like I said, for Ghost 2. So we'll have to see how that all plays out. So let me know, guys, in the comments below. What do you think? Do you think Lord Shimura will appear, whether it's, physically in person, whether it's in flashbacks, maybe he's not mentioned at all? Let me know. As always, make sure if you guys did like this, and I'm going to be covering this game a ton. I covered it last year. I'll be covering the director's cut and this expansion over the next couple weeks. Make sure you guys are subscribed. Make sure you guys have the bell icon turned on so you know all these videos go up. Give the video a like. And finally, all of my social media stuff, if you guys want to follow me on Twitter, subscribe to my second channel. Those are links in the description below, as well as our Patreon and YouTube memberships. Those are also in the description if you guys want to support us there. You get exclusive benefits for giving us money. You're not just giving us money to give us money. Thank you all for watching, and I hope to see you all on the next video.